Melchizedek. Melchizedek is the first Jebusite Canaanite documented in the Bible. He was the high priest according to Gnostics and theosophists of the God of El Elyon. Melchizedek blessed Abraham in the name of El Elyon or Shaddai. The Cainite Jebusites understood Zedek to be the rebellious sun god, while Malchi, derived from Malak or king, which derived from counselor or member of God's council. So how and why was such a holy patriarch of the Bible drafted by spurious forces? Molech is synonymous with Malak, meaning king, according to Cassell's precise Bible dictionary, and variants chronicled as Melech and Molech. In Hebrew also meaning king. Other variations of Molech in the Bible are Milcom, Malcolm, Micam, and of course Molech in the New Testament. Remember, Molech was a demigod, the notorious son of Baal, while Baal was the son of El or Dagon in Cainite and Mesopotamian pantheons, respectively, who popularized the Baal cult into the Middle East, which may explain why some mythologists claim Baal was the son of Dagon and the cup-bearer to El. Baal was part of the apex of the Cainite pantheon and known by several names in the Bible: Baal, Berith el-Berith, Baal Zebub, Beelzebub, and known in Canaan as Baal Zebul and Ali Young Baal. Baal and related deities were by and large portrayed as mating bulls, symbolizing fertility, but it is the Baal cult aspect that is important. The cult of Atlantis, Benjamin, and the Essenes. You will remember the notorious Baal cult incident of the golden calf during the Exodus, as well as King Jeroboam of Israel, who fashioned 2 idols of golden calves he erected at Bethel, Beth-aven, and Dan, which were steadfastly condemned by Hosea and Amos. According to Ungers, Jeroboam did this to accommodate the Canaanite Baal cults. The Baal cults and Israelite religious rivalry was fought furiously throughout Israel's history. It was best exemplified by Jeremiah. They think the dreams they tell one another will make my people forget my name, just as their fathers forget my name through Baal worship. Jeremiah 23:27. In addition, the often quoted conflict between Elijah and the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel, where Elijah knew he must destroy Baalism and his prophets during the reign of King Ahab of Israel, 1 Kings 18 verses 16 through 46, is yet another example. Molech, son of Baal, also haunted the Israelites. Melchi of Melchizedek and its genitive Enochian Essenes sun cult was a Semitic deity who demanded the sacrifice of children, a custom robustly forbidden by the righteous man called Moses and the law given to him by the Holy Great One. Even so, this did not prevent the perpetual resurgence of Molech worship, for Solomon, according to Ungers, built an altar to Molech at Topheth. The Old Testament noted Solomon did evil in the sight of the Holy Great One. For Solomon worshipped outlawed deities, gods such as Asherah, Ashroth, and Milcom. Solomon also built high places for Molech, recorded as Chemosh in 1 Kings 11:1-8. The Moabite equivalent for Molech. King Manasseh of Judah during his idolatrous reign additionally honored Molech, 2 Kings 21:3-7 and 2 Chronicles 33:3-7. As did King Jehoiakim, who vicariously revived the Molech Baal cult, 2 Kings 24:3-4. Similarly, King Ahaz of Judah unwisely reignited the Molech Baal cults, 2 Kings 16:1-5, that Amos and Hosea had previously condemned, and that of Jeremiah and Ezekiel condemned. Early depictions of Molech portrayed him to be a man with a bull's head, just as the Minotaur and the Quinator were portrayed. According to Plutarch, Euripides stated the Minotaur was a mingled form, where 2 strange shapes possessing different natures, bull and man, were combined. All this is not mere coincidence. Knight and Lomas confesses to striking similarity between Molech Baal and the bull of Minos, who designed the legendary labyrinth on Crete. King Minos was the son of a father also named Minos, who in turn was Nephilim, offspring of Zeus and Europa. Most historians conclude Minos lived during the Cretan Neo-Palatial circa 1720–1450 BCE. But I believe the context and the detail of the myth date the legend back to the antediluvian epoch in the pre-Palatial period, circa 3200 to 2000 BCE, and perhaps a little before. Bow further suggests the Minotaur myth was likely preserved a very old tradition of human sacrifice. Note also that the Minoan language is distinctly Indo-European, or that is to say Aryan. This legend likely links allegorically back to the angelic rebellion and the Prince of Darkness, the Angel of the Sea, and the angel who had the form of a bull that enticed Leviathan and the waters to rebel against the Holy Great One on day 2 and 3 of creation. Poseidon, the dragon and angel of the sea or water, was alternatively personified as a bull. Remember, the siding god of the sea was the father of the bull coat, and the bull was the most sacred animal of Poseidon. The Minotaur came about through the bestial population of King Minos' wife. A white bull had been sent to Minos by Poseidon to be sacrificed. Minos substituted another inferior bull. Doing this caused Poseidon to anger. So he caused the white bull to be lusted after by King Minos' wife. Poseidon caused her to mate with it, as punishment. The Minotaur, meaning bull of Minos, came from this copulation. It was known to be a child-consuming cannibal, just as Malak was a man with a bull's head who demanded child sacrifices as a result of worship. King Minos did not dare to provoke Poseidon any further by killing the monster. So he built the labyrinth to imprison the beast and then fed it innocent children to keep it nourished. King Minos waged and then won in a war fight against the antediluvian Athenians, imposing a cruel tribute to supply yearly 7 young men and 7 young virgins that there were to be by the bitter tour and satisfy the anger of the gods. Prince Theseus, son of Aegeus, then stepped forward, hiding among the third ship full of tributes as one of the 7 young men. He subsequently saved Athens from this appalling tribute by defeating King Minos and slaying the Minotaur. The bull cult of Egypt, renowned as the bull cult of Apis or the Osiris-Apis cult, eerily bore similar traits. The cult originated when a calf was born from the sacred womb of Isis, and when the calf died it became Osiris. The Apis bull was associated with all Horus kings since. The labyrinth of Serapis was built as a gigantic subterranean labyrinth for Apis bulls that had died, Horus kings. It was a place where mummified corpses of the Apis bull were transformed into sun gods, like Osiris. These Egyptian bull mythologies are eerily similar to the Quinator and Minotaur mythologies, and are an esoteric dimension to the Atlantean and Enochian sun cults. Keep in mind the island of Crete and the Minotaur legend of the bull cult of Poseidon when you reflect upon Baal, Molech, and Benjamin with regard to the bull cults of Israel's epoch, for they are interconnected. In addition to all this, Cainites actually believed they originally migrated from the island of Crete, likely bringing the bull cults of Atlantis with them that later became manifested in Baal and Molech. The connections become even clearer when you remember that ancient Cainite builder craftsmen commissioned by Phoenician King Hiram of Tyre to build the first Jerusalem temple believed they were direct blood descendants of Masonic craftsmen that built the Mycenaean royal castles and Cretan villa palaces. Tyre was settled by refugee Sidonians and a few sacking Philistines who were unaccountable emerged in Cretan building technology. Both Philistine temples and the temples of Tyre unexplainably honored a fish god Dagon, act according to Freemason Joseph Hippolyte d'Acosta in History of the Dionysian Artificers. In 1820, Hiram Abiff belonged to an ancient society of Dionysian artificers that were associated with another group of Ionians, those who have built the ancient temple of Diana at Ephesus. This Masonic antediluvian legacy of builder priests survived throughout the epochs, eventually being inherited by the Gnostic Manichaeans who worked their way secretly into Christianity as builder and architects of the Roman Collegia. The Gnostics, Cistercian and Benedictine monks of Celtic Christianity then inherited the same legacy, passing it on to the Masonic guilds of Europe, which were later dominated by the Benedictine Templars and later passed on the builder-priest legacy to Freemasonry. Similarly, one ponders whether or not there is a connection to the infamous figure Malak. Malak was pitiless Babylonian god whose name translated as Anu is king. This was the infamous figure connected to the Nephilim and the mortal god Amalek or Lamech, Cain's son. Molech too was a merciless, mortal god, whose variant is also Malek, meaning king. Most coincidental. You may recall the Babylonians sacrificed their children in a fire to Malak just as the cult members did for Molech. It would appear Malak legends possessed the same antediluvian allegories and roots as the Minotaur. Along a related vein, the Philistines also migrated from Crete, bringing with them similar beliefs to those of the Cainites and Babylonians, as witnessed by their god Dagon Baal, which was portrayed as half man half fish. Poseidon, remember, it was Oannes Enoch, the evil, the fish deity of the Babylonians, who escorted the Anunnaki down from the mountains and begat the antediluvian kingship of Nephilim. As you all recall, the Cretans, the Minoans and the Santorinians all worshipped under the shadow of the bull cult of Atlantis. All this further explains both how and why the Philistines easily adopted and assimilated the Canaanite cult of the bull into their society. All this is no coincidence, and it is out of this cannibalistic child sacrificing of the bull cult that parallels the Cainite order of Melchizedek. This Cainite order of Melchizedek is a perversion of the Holy Great One's priesthood, duality. What the Holy Great Ones does with his set-apart people, so does the adversary do with his people, the usurpers, enemies of the Holy Great One, all things good and righteous, and his people created in his image. This Cainite order of Melchizedek steps forwards with all its false pretenses, thanks to the scribes. This Cainite order of Melchizedek, which is a purposeful perversion of the Holy Great One's true priesthood of chosen righteous men. Their righteous works and acts are recorded in religious texts not limited to the Bible, nevertheless the Bible is the main source. The Gnostics possess a gospel of Melchizedek which, not surprisingly, denotes its spurious followers as the children of Seth. This Gnostic Nephilim Seth who maintain the spark of the divine required for harmonic convergence and ascension into godhood when the world unites under one world government and religion. In fact, James Robinson goes on to note that Melchizedek was identified with the Gnostic savior, Seth, and thus was a product of Sethian Gnosticism worshipping El. The bull cult of Poseidon was one of the foundations for the Essene religion. The Cainite order of Melchizedek was the perverted and spurious order of priests who worshipped the bloodthirsty tyrant god El, father to Baal, and grandfather to Malak. This order is not the true holy order of chosen set-apart priests that worship the Holy Great One in truth and in spirit. This order is made up of the non-conformist Jewish Essenes. Unger's notes the order of Melchizedek discussed in Psalm 110, for was explained by Genesius and Rosenmüller to be an order that maintained the dignity of the king and priest. Unger's goes on to note that Melchizedek's parents are not listed in the Bible, but Melchizedek presents as an Christ-like king example of Jesus' reign in the millennium. Hebrews 5, 6, 10, 7, 1, 5, Melchizedek was the king of Jerusalem. He blessed Abraham after rescuing Lot in the war of the 4 kings against 5, for Melchizedek was an unexplained priest of the Holy Great One in Genesis, to whom Abram gave 1/10 of everything. Genesis 14, 18-20, Hebrews 7, 1-5. One should expect the Antichrists, the serpent seed, and the scribes to have written their evil priesthood into the Bible and other religious books, attributing the righteous aspects and characteristics of the Holy Great One to the wicked as divine titles, all legitimized by merging lies and the truth of his word with. That is why they say the pen is mightier than the sword. And it is written, "Woe to you scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites." The Sumerian language was transferred into Babylonian, from Babylonian into Hebrew, from Hebrew into the Greek Septuagint. This means the Hebrew language has Sumerian roots and is a mixture, possibly of Sumerian, Babylonian and Hebrew. This was all done for long-term misdirection, misplacement of faith and worship in preparation for the last generation. We are not supposed to wake up and break free of this spiritual bondage. They have merged the word with magic, sorcery, spells, and incantations. This is why we cannot trust all the names and titles given to us in these books. We could be ignorantly evoking and invoking demonic spirits because we want to believe everything that is written in these books. This is my concern. We have faith in the translations of the books, instead of faith in the Father to reveal his truth to us that is within these books. There are too many dark, occult, demonic connections to certain names and religious practices for me to believe they are coincidences. Things holy should not be so easily associated with evil. If I am wrong, may the Holy Great One have mercy on me and forgive me. The bull cult of Melchizedek.
Urim and Thummim are 2 stones used for divination by the high priest. They were part of the Hoshen, which was attached to the ephod. The Urim and the Thummim are mentioned in Exodus 28:30 as part of Aaron's breastplate in the holy place, with their uses further described in other books, especially 1 Samuel. Thummim is widely considered to be derived from the consonantal root TMM, meaning innocent. Many scholars now believe that Urim simply derives from the Hebrew term Arim, meaning curses, and thus that Urim and Thummim essentially mean cursed or faultless, in reference to the deity's judgment. In other words, Urim and Thummim were used to answer the question, innocent or guilty, meaning the word guilty refers to being cursed. This would mean our modern court system is Urim and Thummim. When you hear the words lights and perfections, innocent or guilty, cursed or faultless, I hear the words Urim and Thummim, because all of the aforementioned are cognate with one another, similar to saying Teraphim, Malak, Mamitim, Anunnaki. They are all synonymous with one another. The entwined serpent. The Assyriologist William Mus Arnold connected the singular forms and Tum with the Babylonian terms Urtu and Tamitu, meaning oracle and command, respectively. I find this strange, as I have already collected and M, Tum and Mem from the Akkadian language, derived from the Sumerian. Offhand, Urtu would mean to exorcise, conjure, to interfere, plus the word wolf, or even worse, beast. Within we also have the meaning of servant, for example, Semwadu Aku, meaning the servant of the moon god. And wherever we see the term moon god, then we should also see the term the beast of sin, Suen, Lord Zu, alternatively Suez, the seal of Zeus. Lord Zu is the original oracle, the word meaning voice, and hand, which would be the oracle and command. According to Mus Arnold's theory, the Hebrew words use a pluralis intensivus to enhance their apparent majesty, and are not to indicate the presence of more than one. Remember, Sumerian ash, meaning curse, one, wish, desire, spider, and wolf. They are all cognate. Along these lines, Urim and Thummim are hypothesized to derive from the tablets of destiny worn by Marduk on his breast, according to Babylonian religion. Urim and Thummim would be two of the terms transferred from the Babylonian script into the Greek Septuagint, the Babylonian script being entwined with the Sumerian decree. The meaning of Urim in Sumerian Akkadian. Dog, carnivorous beast, servant, young man, warrior, enemy. The dogman cognate with the enemy, Baal, Bel, to tremble. The adjectives, humble, to surround, to flood, to throw overboard, to drag over the ground, often with knee, to erase, wipe out, to shear, reap, mow, with clay, loam, mud, tablet, and or wind, direction, weather, storm, cloud, rain. The storm tablet of the enemy, the tablet of the storm beast, containing a story of the beast-like storm god, used to make you shit oneself. If that isn't Anzu, the divine storm bird, I'll eat my bloody hat. Are you familiar with rhabdomancy and bellomancy? If not, watch these two videos and jack yourself up like Neo. Bellomancy used divination in the form of an arrow, the use of an arrow, the symbol of Marduk, to invoke direction from their god, Bel, the enemy. The meaning of Tum: work, action, cross-beam, arrow quiver. If there is any connection to direction, then this is bellomancy and rhabdomancy. This may leave a bad taste in your mouth. To mar, to break wind, emit flatus. To wind. Mar, to leave, depart, go out. To mu, tum, to. Wind, cardinal point, direction. Ta, from, plus mu, to blow, to give direction, from the god of the wind, an aspect of the storm. Tumu, tum, to bring, to carry away, to obtain, to be suitable, fit, to prepare. For what? Possibly to prepare for the return of the beast. From being food to being left behind does not sound good, does it? To mu tum, to carry, tauma, from food to leave. We also have Tu Mushen, a bird of a pigeon or dove family, the dove from above, yes, that dove, the messenger. Tum, to bring, to carry, and the term carrier pigeon, for a homing pigeon. It would appear that bird is that word. Mim, in Sanskrit, mimir, mimati, to go, to move, to sound. Mimir would be the oracle of Odin. I remind you that Marduk means bitter, bitter. Many believe that Mim means sea of bitterness, or sea of sorrow, which would be the Abzu, wouldn't it? The realm of the oracle. I find it strange that the oracle is found on the bad side. Tum Mim, the birdman's sea of bitterness. And Urim refers to the departure. It's almost as if this thing is trying to escape. This would be a child. Zu is a rebellious child from the sea of bitterness. Some sources cite the alternative definitions: rebellion, wished for child, and mistress of the sea, or lady of the sea. Alternatively, the rebellion of the bird man. Mem is believed to derive from the Egyptian hieroglyph symbol for water, which had been simplified by the Phoenicians, and named after the word water, Sumerian Akkadian Abzu. Mem ultimately derived from the Proto-Semitic May and Ma. For May, see Ma, which would be the Sumerian Ma, the Akkadian Mu, to ignite, kindle, the fire. Again, they are all synonymous with one another. Ma became Mu, and May became Mem or Mim. If true, this actually takes it back to the Sumerian. It is tricky connecting Hebrew to Sumerian, but I think you'll agree it can be done. Before I continue, I once again note the variant of Malachi, Memitim, Anunnaki, which are synonyms of one another. According to the language, Memitim are alternatively, they can be and are the Ma-itim, the May-itim, or Mu-itim, or even the Shai-itim. Shaitan would be singular, Shaitim would be plural. The letter M is interchangeable with the letter S. The Ma-atan, the Mu-atan, or the Shaitan. Satan, the Shaitan or Shaitan, is an evil spirit in Islam, inciting humans, tempting them, and the jinn to sin by whispering, which would be the oracle, and the purpose of Urim and Thummim. Ma, to go, Alaku. Alaku would mean to go to Lord Zu. Aku Suen, Lord Zu. Nishma, abode, to leave, depart, go out. See also mud, meaning blood. And Ma, see Mu, to ignite, the fire of the beast. Urim is the tablet of the beast. Thummim refers to the direction to depart, and is connected to rhabdomancy and bellomancy, which would be the use of divination arrows used to invoke direction from the gods. The problem being that Zu stole the Urim and Thummim and hid them on a mountain top, the tablets of destiny, which were never retrieved. So I ask you, who is the oracle? Urim, the beast storm tablet. Thummim, the arrow's direction to depart.